Hey guys, welcome back to my 100 most popular algorithm series. In this particular video, we are going to take a look at lead code problem number 78, subsets. So it's a medium categorized problem and liked by close to 5,000 people. The problem statement is quite simple. So we're given an array of unique elements. We need to return all possible subsets, that is also called as the power set. The solution must not contain any duplicate subsets and we can return the solution in any order. So in the first example, we've given like three elements 1, 2, 3, and we need to return all possible subsets that we can form using these three numbers. So all the possible subsets are mentioned here. So whenever we see problems like this where we need to return all possible combinations of certain things, backtracking is the solution that usually fits in very well. So here also we are going to use backtracking to solve this problem. So we all know that backtracking involves a lot of recursion. So we need to understand how the logic will work in that case. So here we have three numbers 1, 2, 3, and we have few recursive functions. So we'll see how the logic of each of these function will work. So we need two things here. We need an output which will collect all our outputs, and we also need current permutation which will track all the subset that is currently being processed. So initially, to begin with, the current permutation will be empty, so that will pass to the first recursive function. Now the job of this function is to take this whatever the permutation that it has received and add it in the output. So I'll add empty in the output, and remember empty is also one of the subset that we want. Okay, so that has been added in the output. Now the first recursive function will then iterate through all the numbers available to this function. So right now this function has all three numbers accessible. So then it will add 1 into the current permutation and pass the control to the second permutation. The second recursive function. Now this function will first add the permutation that it has received to the output. So 1 has been added to the output. Now this recursive function has access to two elements. Okay, so in every recursive function we'll reduce the number of elements that it has access to. So this function had access to all three elements. Now this function will have access to only two elements. So now this will add the two number after 1, because 1 is already added to the current permutation, so it will add 2 and 1 2 array will be formed. Now that will be passed to the third recursive function. Now this function will first add this to the output, and it will this function only has access to one element which is 3, so it will add 3 in the current permutation and pass the control to the fourth function. Now this function will add 1 2 3 in the output, and now it has no more elements available, right? So this function will then break the recursion and will return the control back to the third one. Now here also there are no more elements left, so it will return the control to the second recursive function. Now this function has some elements left, 3 is still left, so it will remove 2 and add 3. So 1 3 will be added. Now that will be added in the output by the third function, then will return the control. Now the second recursive function has no more elements left, 2 and 3 are exhausted, so it will return the control to the first function. Now this function has few more elements left, 2 and 3, so it will remove 1 and add 2 in the output and start all over again. So then this 2 2 3, and so this function will add 2 3 at the end, and both of those items will be added in the output, and then this function will return the control. Now this function will then finally add 3 in the current permutation, and that will be added in the output. So yeah, that's how you solve this problem. So let's begin the coding of this particular problem. So every backtracking solution has two things. It has a backtrack function which will do the heavy lifting, where all the main logic will reside, and the parent function will call it. And the parent function will also have an output where all these subsets are collected. Now it will call the backtrack function and pass few things, and then after that it will return the output. Okay, so what does this backtrack function need? So obviously it needs a numbers array where all the elements are present. Then it will need the index, that which part of the array is available to me, because not every recursive function will have entire array available to it, right? So that is the index. Then it will need current permutation, and finally it will need the output. So here in the parent function we need to pass initial values to this backtrack function so that the recursion can get started. So here as the first argument I'll pass the numbers array. Then for index you start with 0 index. Then current subset we have empty subset to begin with, and then we will pass the output. Okay, so the job of this parent function is now done. Let's turn our attention to the backtrack function. One thing is left, we need to do the input sanity checks. So let's quickly do that. If the array is not present or array is empty, then we cannot generate any output. Okay, now here the first thing, as I mentioned in the explanation, that the first job of the recursive function is to add whatever is the permutation that has been passed to the output. Okay, so here the first step I'll do this. So in the output I'll append this current permutation that is given to me, but I'll create a copy of it, because see, we are keep on adding and removing elements from this current permutation, right? So whenever I want to take the snapshot of that particular permutation that I collected, it's better to create a copy and add it in the output, so that it is not getting modified after all. Now in this backtrack function there are two things. One is base case of recursion, which will break the recursion, and then we have recursive logic. Okay, the base case is simple. If index exceeds the length of the array, so we have no more elements left, then we'll return. So that was the base case. And recursive logic, as I mentioned in the explanation, that every recursive function will loop over all the elements that are available to that particular function, and it will add it in the current permutation. So here we'll iterate through the numbers array, starting from the index that has been given to us and till the end of the array. Now in every in every loop, we need to add that particular element. Let's say we are in the first loop, so we'll add 1 to the permutation and pass the control to the second recursive function, the next recursive function. So here in this current permutation, I'll add the number that is pointed by ith index. Then I'll pass the control to the next recursive function to do its job, and that function will not have that particular element available, because that has been handled by the parent recursion, right? So for example, here this recursive function is handling 1, so the next recursive function will only have to handle 2 and 3. So that's why +1 is needed. Then I'll pass the current permutation and I'll pass the output. Okay, so this backtrack function will handle all these things, right? So that everything is added in the output. Now when the control again reaches here to the first function, now that function should remove 1 and add 2 now. So whatever the number that I've added, I'll pop it out. So I'll pop it out, and so that in the next recursion a new number can be added and new subsets can be formed. So yeah, that's the code that we need to write. Let's verify code. I had added class here, that was a mistake. This is a function, so I have corrected it. Let's verify our code again. Yeah, it is working fine. Let me try with some other use case. Let me try with this example 0. So yeah, we're getting the correct output for that. So let me submit my code. Yeah, it was accepted. So yeah, that's how you solve this problem. It's a backtracking solution. It's a very interesting category of problems, and the more you solve it, the more you'll get used to it. So I hope you like this coding challenge. For more coding challenges like this, stay tuned to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.